I watched a video with Tiger Woods and Grant Horvat all about 3-wood and 3 things that Tiger does that now Grant does, and I'll be honest, after I tried them, I now do as well. I've quickly brought them into my game. Now the 3 concepts are the hips, the second one is those flared feet. And I know so many of us don't do it, but we definitely should. And then the final one is what I call landing the plane, sort of that divot, Tiger Woods and divots. That's a big one. So let's start with number 1. Now, so many people, we get a little bit sort of crowding the ball. This gets our club a little bit shallow and then we end up scooping. So the fix for that was trying to feel like the left pocket, as they started down, worked really far back, worked as far back as he possibly could. So almost like shoving his back pocket in that direction. And now you're there, let me show you from this position, that more, as opposed to that. Now, the feeling that I got from it, and I'll hit one now, is my belt buckle, say it's there, I'll put my hand on it so you can see it. I've got a lot of layers on this morning. I felt like my belt buckle in the past went more towards my toes, right? That dropped the club here, scoop. So now, from that feeling of what Tiger was saying, I feel as though when I start down, I'm sending my belt buckle, trying to get it over my left heel. Really try that. You'll see how much more open you are. Right, let me hit this one away and I'll show you that one. Watch this ball flight right now. Oh, look at that fly. And that was off the deck, by the way. I would usually tee it up, but I wanted to show you how good this actually was. Let's have a look at some numbers here. This for a 3-wood, 233. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. Now, just to give you an idea, ball position, club head inside, left heel. And essentially, we've got to get out of that scoopiness. Anytime belt buckle works closer to the toes, our club drops in. Now, the second thing is all about the feet. So, having it way more flared. We've seen Tiger in the last few years play a fade quite a lot. And just to help that sort of feeling of covering that golf ball more, he really flared that left foot and told Grant to do that. Now, be very careful because Grant got caught out on this. He was opening that left foot and then pulling it back, ended up aiming so far off the left. So, when you're opening that left foot, you'll realise, and you know what, you can stand out your chair and do this right now for me. When your feet are like this, I find it really hard to move my hips and that feeling of sending belt buckle back. So we tend to sort of throw it in this direction. Because look, I'm so restricted, but when I turn it open, look at this. I've got so much more room with sort of the same effort. So aim straight, and then analogy that I would use from this, imagine the right foot, if the ball was sort of 12 o'clock-ish, point that at 2 and point that at 10, okay? You can sort of see how my foot is flared without me aiming left. So that was the second point that Tiger was illustrating. Whew. I was a little bit heeled, to be fair, but you know what? I wouldn't grumble at that off this tee. Now for me, I can really feel that difference, especially for you seniors who, not being rude, but we do lose a little bit of flexibility as we get older. That little trick there, I can only assume Tiger's probably brought that in, maybe because of his injuries as well. Like you can see, I can really work that first point a little bit easier. Now the last point really did throw me. We've seen that video, it's been going around everywhere, hasn't it? But maybe sort of 6-7 months ago, Tiger talking to Scotty Scheffler all about taking a divot. And Grant asked him this and was like, what was it all about? And his words were, when I'm flushing it, I never take a divot. Now be careful with this statement because sometimes, let me hit one away here, if I'm trying to squeeze one down there, and watch this shot here, if I'm trying to squeeze one, like that and fade it back in, look how much of a divot I've just taken. And he does say this, he says, depending on the shot, but if I was stood there flushing it, I wouldn't take a divot. I mean, look at that there, that's quite a hefty one, isn't it? Because I was trying to squeeze it, I was trying to hit it low, like the shot required it. But the analogy that I want to use from this, and I think Tiger was just talking about feelings of how he sort of felt like he was picking it off the top. I want you to imagine, and I've got a little drill we can do with a couple of T-pegs that I got to train myself, because I get a little bit squeezy to be fair. I want you to imagine the sole of your driver. Look how dirty that's gone. Give that a wipe. is like a plane, right? That last shot would sort of class as like a crash landing. It sort of works too heavily into the ground. We don't want it to abort the landing and get a bit scoopy, but I want you to imagine your 3-wood sole of the club is just touching down, collecting the ball, then working off. So you're getting it to land nicely. We're not crash landing, we're not aborting the landing, we're trying to get it to just brush and bruise that ground nicely. So grab some T-pegs like I do here. God, look at that divot I took there. I will sort that out. I know somebody commented that the other day saying, Alex, thank you for looking after the golf course. I always look after the course. You know what, on that note, how annoying are pitch marks? I reckon when I go and play, I'm probably repairing 3 or 4, 5 pitch marks every sort of 6, 7 holes. Anybody else relate to that? Because I find it so annoying. Well, people just look after the course. So let's get this set up. My golf ball's here. I'm going to imagine this T-peg, the front one, is where my club can start now working up. My back T-peg is where I'm just trying to get it to land up. Land up. In fact, to be fair, let's make it a little bit longer there. Land and up. That's the analogy I want you to have there. Now, I know you can't have T-pegs when you go and play, but this is certainly something you can bring into your game when you're practicing. And that's what I want you to do, right? I want you to think, use the knowledge of one of the world's, I say one of, he probably is the world's best player, right? Not now, a little bit older, but like one of the best players of all time, talking about how he doesn't take a divot. It's very much a bruise when he's flushing it. But like I said, be careful, because like sometimes you do need to hit that divot. Right, here you go. Look at the difference in this shot. I'm gonna just sort of brush and bruise that ground. Now bear in mind, the ground is soft today, so I will make a bit more of an impact than you would in the summer. Look at that. Look at that as well. I don't know where to look. That was flushed. Woo! Look at the difference in this hit. 240 yards. That's more like it, Alex. 240 yards. Now I appreciate yardage isn't immaterial what I've just done there, but my point being is you can hit it further and better, strike it better with those 3 concepts to take into your fairway woods, no matter if it's 3-wood like I have here, it's a 4-wood, a 5-wood, whatever you've got in your game, whatever you've got in your bag, use those 3 things. Thanks for watching.